How's it going, everybody? It's Krusty O'Crow back again doing another one of my alternative perspective toy reviews on a recently purchased Marvel Legends series figure that I picked up today when I was at the Ottawa Toy and Comic Convention or sale at the Nepean Sportsplex. It's running this weekend, today and tomorrow. It's $5 admission, and you saw I did a quick little video booting around there where I told you I picked some stuff up, and I said there was one figure I was really happy about. Of the three that I got, I got the #1 G.I. Joe Classified Roadblock, and of course I got a couple of old school X-Men villain favorites of mine, and maybe favorites of yours. I'm talking about Arcade from Marvel Legends. Really not a lot coming with this guy besides that second head sculpt. But just a character that comes with a Build-A-Fig I have no desire for, and really I don't plan on reviewing them. But I could talk about them endlessly, just about how much I loved the premise of the game master type who stages these intricate either illusionary or robotic arenas for people to go through. And he's a psychopath. It's a way of being a serial killer with a infinite resources and imagination. He's always menaced the X-Men and Spider-Man and others. So I was really happy to stumble across him. Not bad for 20 Canadian. But really what I was so happy I picked up, and I got such a great deal on it, and that's what the review is today, guys. We're going for Mojo. Marvel Legends Mojo. There's the front of the box. I got this for 40 Canadian today. I couldn't pass that up. I had just been talking about this figure recently in a long shot review. And so we're going to go over this this set as as one of the larger X-Men turnout sets that you can get. Very weighty character, lots of pieces to assemble, and I had some ups and downs with it, but I love it. I really do, But this isn't my tactical perspective where, I just give everything fives. This is an alternative perspective, so I got to look at this from a couple of different angles, and so I'm always going to ask, what does that play value percentage look like versus what I get in this box set? I mean, bear in mind, it's not $40 originally. We're looking at about 75 on average in Canada for this, so I saved a few bucks on that. Was it worth it if I had paid retail price for what you get? What you get is a couple of extra heads and hands, or a extra head and a set of extra hands, and you'll see that in the photos and everything. I'll talk about that play percentage grade. I'll talk about the character grade. Did they really nail this guy? Does he look the way that Mojo should? And do they reflect that through any kind of purpose or use or accessorization that they gave that little extra push to really emphasize Mojo and a good character there? What's that percentage look like? And then I'll ask that question, was Mojo's potential met with this figure? All right, so if you like that sort of stuff, you know the deal. Like, share, subscribe. It helps me with the algorithm. It's a free channel. Those are all free actions. There is no paid action. Just it helps me get in the loop with others, as I am recently just broadening out into a lot of other figures than just my original G.I. Joe Classified line. So thanks very much if you've already done that. Let's go have a look at the Madman Mojo. All right. So what can I tell you off the top of my head about Mojo? Okay, he lives in the Mojoverse, which is his home dimension that he took over. A bunch of entities called the spineless ones, meaning they were invertebrate beings. They had no actual, firm skeleton, but they were able to manipulate tech and magics to further themselves. And Mojo is basically the superior being of that dimension, turned it over to the Mojoverse. We met him in long shot number 3 of that limited series back in, I think it was 85. and he kind of took off. Arthur Adams drew him really well. And he was popular. Like I said, he broke the fourth wall in ways that would later inspire Deadpool to do better, you know. But of course, we had the X-Babies come out of that as well. It's something that really kind of lessened the character as I saw it. But he had his cohort, Spiral, who had a lot of influence on the X-Men and even became a member of X-Force after a time. She was his magic weaver, and the Major Domo was kind of like his personal assistant, always the butt of his wrath, always kind of getting bore down on. I've been showing you how he comes laid out as we go, and just having a little fun with some of the photography as I assemble him, right? But yes, the key to the Mojo is that he lives in that universe, and he uses magics and whatnot to feed off the audience that feeds his magics, right? So he's in networking, and he was kind of a very tongue-in-cheek or, you know, bold-faced caricature of the 80s TV exec as he was portrayed over the years. And yeah, so that's Mojo. I have to pick up a Spiral at some point because I really do like that character, but that's what we know about him to this point. So here's your question of the day for this video. What is the connection between Mojo and the X-Man Psylocke? See if you know the answer. Let me know in the comments what that is. Anyways, guys, what Hasbro shows us with this figure essentially is the proper size and proportions I would want. And its assembly is very simple, not much to it. Click and supports with good articulated points. So they really nailed the face sculpt as I see it. The extra hand options are notorious for the way he grabs. He is brute strength as well, and he's always pointing at things and making accusations and demands. So I think they've really kind of nailed what they've shown us here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just roll right into that play grade factor and assess it, trying to take into consideration I bought this at a convention, so I can't weigh the actual retail price too much. But as far as play goes, with those transform but base supports, they've kind of rest assured that Mojo is always kind of a little bit off the ground, no matter what. But the legs, while really cool, they don't support the actual weight of the character all that well, and that's absolutely correctly positioned. As you can see, it'll take you some time to figure out what the absolute correct position is for the weight distribution and make sure your characters line up. But I think the play value is absolutely here. If it were $75 to $80 Canadian, I would say that play value with everything that I've gotten in here and the options for Mojo is a hard 90%. I think it was well worth it, and I'm gonna boost that to definitely 90%, considering I got this thing for $40. Price aside, there were two things that kept me from giving this 100%. To me, it should come with some sort of monitors, clip-on, some sort of TV screens he's looking at and surveying, and Major Domo. As Major Domo is not a character you're likely wanting to buy for your collection other than supporting Mojo. So those are my thoughts on it. So that's a 90% for that play hit. What about that character hit? You know, we look at a character that was clearly inspired a bit by Clockwork Orange and the Malcolm McDowell scenes and translated really well in the 80s at the time. This character isn't everybody's favorite, though. You know, he's one of those B-listers. I just happen to have a niche love for him, but a lot of other people that would like the X-Men may not necessarily like what Mojo or Arcade brought to the table. I think they did a really good job with the way they presented this character and what they did include, all things aside, for the price I got. And it's a fine reflection of every kind of insane perspective I've had on Mojo can be shown just with this character. So I'm going to give them 100% on the character hit itself, and I don't feel like that's being overly generous. There was care and detail given into Mojo, and it shows, and you can really see what they went for. And the more you play with it, the stronger this figure gets, as I see it. So now I gotta ask that one big question, and that's, was Mojo's potential met? And this has a bit more tricky of an answer because I'm kind of leaning towards no, not really. For the figure of Mojo and what you're getting, you know, especially at the price I got it at, but even at the regular price, it's a fun figure. It's cool sculpt. It's a great little toy, and it looks awesome. But as Mojo as a character, Remember, I said he has to live in his own little pocket dimension, and he can't really step out of that dimension without causing death. So he just doesn't do it a whole lot in the comics. So you kind of need something a little bit more for Mojo for it to meet really its standard. If you're going to do a bigger price set and it's going to be about Mojo, I stand by it should have come with a major domo, some monitor screens, or some sort of little backdrop or a prop piece that has him monitoring the rest of the toys on your shelf through his other dimension, like Mojo would watch the world, right? It would be nice to even get another spiral in there, but to me that would put the price up more, of course, but that's to me the Mojo spirit of things getting caught in it. That's the set you want for a Mojo like this. The figure, again, like I said, is a great figure. I love this figure, but I don't really feel like it met the potential of the Mojo character without all the things I just mentioned. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this alternative perspective on Marvel Legends series Mojo, which I picked up at the Ottawa Convention this weekend. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.